Hello and welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. If you're new to the channel and want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button over here. If you want to learn more about shrimp, hit that bell icon over here as well so you don't miss anything. Today's video we're going to talk about Planaria, and it's kind of a difficult video for me to make because I don't have Planaria. Okay, but I have been asked countless times, Mark, how do I deal with Planaria? Now I have had Planaria in the past, so I know how to deal with it. I just can't show you me dealing with it. Okay, so this is more of a descriptive term on how I can tell you guys how to deal with Planaria, okay? And there's quite a few products that you can buy, but first of all, let's have a little look at Planaria. I will find a picture of a Planaria online and we'll pop it up now. Boop. The way you can tell what a Planaria is by its triangular shaped head, okay, and it will have two dots dead center of its head. This is a Planaria. Now Planaria, in my opinion, are quite the pest in a shrimp tank because they do kill shrimp. I've seen it myself. I used to have Planaria a long time ago, and I used NO-Planaria to kill them in my tank, and basically when you start to see them you want to get rid of them. Now there's quite a few ways that you can do this. You can make a DIY trap, you can make one out of a test tube with a piece of pipe. If I find one online to show you, boop, boop, it will be going here now. There's also other ways. One of the ones I did use when I first started was an upturned glass with a plastic lid. You fill the whole thing with water. Your plastic lid must have holes in it, just a few holes. You put your bait inside, and it's always best to use something that's protein based with Planaria, okay, because they think it's like an animal basically. You put your bait inside your little tank, your little jar, and then you put it upside down on the gravel, right? You don't have it facing the other way because shrimp and everything else will try and get in there to get the food, right? So what you do is you put your glass upside down on the gravel. The Planaria is able to crawl through the gravel, then up through the holes, then you catch them. That's one way. That's what I did before. But the problem with trying to do it the natural way and getting rid of them is it just doesn't work. Planaria, they can reproduce in quite a few different ways. They can have eggs, I believe. They can also reproduce by division, which is very strange for an animal, I know. But any of you guys that have done science projects in America will probably know about Planaria. If you cut it in half, it will just regrow. Okay, I'm not 100% sure if they regrow, like if you cut the head off, will it grow two heads or will it grow a new animal? I don't know about that stuff, but I do know that there was quite a lot of interesting research into stem cells with Planaria as well. So it's quite an interesting little animal, but I don't want it in my shrimp tanks, okay? So let me just rattle off at the top of my head the products I know for sure work with Planaria, and I'll try, and if I can, I'll also leave a picture. The first one is the obvious one, the one called NO-Planaria that I have used before. There's one called Erratic from Aquaspid that I have had somewhere. I'm sure I've got it somewhere in the house, but I just can't find it. I had a packet of it somewhere. There's Panicure C, which is a dog dewormer. There is a product called Safeguard, which is also a dog and cat dewormer. I'll try and get pictures for you as well, because I think it's quite important that you, if you have Planaria and you're going to go around searching for these products, you at least know what it is I'm talking about, okay? And the doses, if I remember correctly, it was something like 1 milligram packet of powder for NO-Planaria per 100 litres of tank. And the way you did it was you put your packet of NO-Planaria in the tank and you left it for a day. Right, so this is one milligram packet for a day in a 100 litre part of your tank. Right? So if you have 200 litres, you want to put in 2 grams. Okay, this is how it works. It's important that you find out your dosage and your instructions, because the active ingredient in all of these things I've just said is something called fenbendazole. Okay, I'll write that here, fenbendazole. I'll have it come across the screen. That is the active ingredient. The interesting thing about fenbendazole is shrimp safe if you dose it in the correct amount. If you overdose, I'm pretty sure you can have problems with the shrimp having warped bodies. I've seen that before in different forums where people have said they had warped bodies. And the other interesting thing that I must make you aware of is snails. Now, if you go to a tank and you try and treat your tank for Planaria, if it has a ton of snails, you're going to run into problems, because what will happen is not all snails are safe with NO-Planaria, with fenbendazole basically. Okay, so some of them will say that they are snail safe. That is rubbish. I've never found one that is completely snail safe. What will happen with your snails is some of them will go like quiet and they'll go dormant and they'll just lie around in the back of the tank for maybe a couple of weeks and then they'll be dead. Okay, and then if you don't see that snail, what will happen is it'll lie there and it'll rot. And a lot of my snails, like a lot of my where are they? A lot of my ram's horns down here, they're actually quite big. So if you can have like a lot of these types of snails suddenly dying or over a period of time, that is going to produce a lot of ammonia. Now this is where the problem comes, because people don't realize that when they're dosing No-Planaria that they could wipe out all their snails in their tank, and then you have basically a bed of ammonia, then you have nitrites and nitrates, and you have something else as well. You have bacterial plumes that are not always of good bacteria. And this is where people start to have death after death after death in the tank after dosing No-Planaria. It's not that the No-Planaria is not shrimp safe, it's that it kills snails. Basically what fenbendazole is a dewormer. You'll see that on dog packets where it's Panicure C. It's a dewormer. It kills worms, okay? The other useful thing about fenbendazole and all these other products we've talked about as well is what I've just said. It kills worms, so it's useful for other parasites like leeches, etc. You got a lot of other types of parasites on shrimp that will be killed. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I think most people should have in the shrimp room all the time, because it will probably kill 70% of all parasites that we know about for shrimp. So it's definitely worth having. I know the video visually today hasn't been very spectacular, but I had to make this video. I had to get it out there about No-Planaria, etc. How to kill Planaria, I can't even say the word Planaria. How to kill them, because I know you guys want to know as well. I mean, there's a ton of videos out there, but I've never made a video about it. And it is good to get my take on it as well. So be careful with whatever product that you buy that has fenbendazole in it. And happy shrimp eating, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.